Stop lying to yourself. Stop waking up like someone owes you something. Nobody owes you, not your mom, not your boss, not society. You owe you. You owe it to yourself to show up even when you're tired, to grind even when nobody claps for you, to push even when the odds are stacked against you. Life isn't gonna hand you success, it hands you struggle, but struggle builds soldiers, and soldiers don't quit. Too many of you are blaming everybody else for why you're not where you wanna be. Look in the mirror. That's your enemy, but also your way out. Your power starts the moment you stop pointing fingers and start making moves. You've got gifts. You've got purpose. But purpose without action is potential wasted. I need you to wake up with fire, to go to war for your dream, to be so locked in that quitting isn't even an option. You were born for something greater, but you gotta fight for it. You owe you every drop of sweat, every sleepless night, every moment of discipline it takes to build that dream. Nobody's coming to do it for you. It's your time, but only if you decide to take it. You keep saying life isn't fair. You keep waking up every morning thinking the world is supposed to feel sorry for you. You keep carrying the pain your father left you with, the anger your mother spoke into you, the abandonment, the trauma, the poverty, the failure. You're wearing it like a badge. But let me tell you something, and I need you to hear me clearly. You are not a victim. You can't keep using what they did to you as a reason for where you are. You can't keep blaming your past while expecting a different future. That math doesn't add up. That excuse might feel good, but it won't get you anywhere. And deep down, you know that. Deep down, you know you're built for more than your excuses. It's time to take ownership of your life, of your story, of your decision, I'm not saying it's your fault, but I am saying it's your responsibility. I know they hurt you. I know they gave up on you. I know you were overlooked, laughed at, pushed aside. But the moment you decide to keep carrying that pain instead of fighting for your power, that's the moment you become the reason you're stuck. Because here's the truth. Nobody's coming. Not your mom, not your teacher, not your favorite motivational speaker. It's on you now. Some of you are grown but still living like it's somebody else's job to fix you. You're 25, 30, 35, walking around talking about what happened to you at 15 like it just happened this morning. You keep reliving the same story, but you're the one who presses play every day. You keep telling people why you can't win, but you've never even tried with full effort. You keep saying nobody believes in you, but have you believed in yourself? You want the result, but you haven't claimed the responsibility. You want the reward, but you're not ready for the reality. And the reality is this is your life and will only go as far as you take it. Ownership means you don't blame, you don't wait, you don't wish, you work. It means every single day you look in the mirror and say, ooh, not because it's easy, not because you feel like it, but because that's what warriors do. That's what winners do. They don't pray for easier battles. They train harder. They don't ask for less pressure. They grow stronger backs. They don't wish somebody would carry them. They get up and carry them. They get up and carry themselves. And that's what I need from you. I need you to stop folding every time life hits. Stop throwing a pity party when you fail. Everybody fails. But the ones who own it, the ones who look failure in the face and say, I'm not done yet, they rise every single time. You want to be successful? You want to build a future your family can be proud of? Then you better stop pointing fingers and start building. Start digging deep. Start doing what most people want. Ownership doesn't ask for help. It earns respect. You keep saying you're tired. Good. Tired is part of the process. You keep saying you don't feel like it. Feelings don't build empires. Discipline does. You want your life to change, but you won't change your habits. You want a different result with the same behavior. That's insanity. You want God to bless you, but you won't even bless yourself with effort. You won't even bless yourself with belief. How can anybody else take you seriously when you don't even take you serious? There are two types of people. Those who make excuses and those who make adjustments. Which one are you? Mama sure you. The ones who make excuses, they talk about what could have been. The ones who make adjustment, they live in what's possible. They stop replaying the old chapters and start writing new ones. And that pen is in your hand. Every morning you wake up, that pen is in your hand. And the question is, What story are you writing? You don't have to stay where you are. I don't care if you've been broke your whole life. I don't care if nobody in your family ever made it out. I don't care what they said about you. What I care about is, what are you going to do about it? Because your circumstances are not your conclusion. They're the introduction to your comeback. If you take ownership. If you stop waiting for a miracle and stop becoming one. If you stop playing a victim and stop fighting like a victor, you owe yourself that much. You owe yourself that much. You owe yourself the truth. The truth is, the only one who can stop you is the one in the mirror. Not your enemy, not your past, not your trauma. The moment you own everything is the moment you change everything. Because nobody can take your power unless you give it away. So stop giving it away. Pick it up, hold it, use it, live it. Own your greatness, own your grind, own your future. Because you are not a victim. You are the author of your life.
Most people think that being loud means being strong. That if you talk big, post often, shout your goals to the world, that it means you're serious. That if you broadcast your every move, the world will respect you more. But I'm telling you the truth right now. Real strength is quiet. Real focus doesn't scream. It moves in silence. That's how the greats do it. Look at nature. The lion, the king of the jungle, doesn't roar when it's hunting. The lion wakes up during the day. He rolls out of bed premature. He trains like he's going to rain before it rains. Then it rains. He goes out and he walks on the boat. He walks on the bed. He moves in pictures. That's how the greats do it. Look at nature. The lion doesn't roar when it's hunting. The lion walks on foot. He stalks his prey in silence. It watches. It waits. It calculates. It strikes when the time is right, and it doesn't miss. But too many people today are roaring before they've done anything. They're shouting online. They're bragging about the grind. They're announcing the plan. But here's the thing. The people who talk the most usually work the least. The ones who are really locked in, really focused, they're silent because they know silence is power. There's strength in not having to prove anything. There's strength in walking past opinions and noise and just staying in your zone. You don't need to defend your journey when your actions are aligned. You don't need to talk about your success when your life shows it. The loudest person in the room isn't always the strongest. They're making noise to fill the silence because they're scared of what the silence says about them. But when you're really about it, when you locked in and focused on your growth, you stop needing that noise. You don't care who's watching. You don't need credit. You don't need attention. You just need the process. That's where strength lives. In the decisions no one sees. In the sacrifices you make in silence while the world parties, while the world scrolls, while the world talks. You see, silence means you're not distracted. Silence means you're not explaining every move to people who wouldn't get it anyway. It means you trust the process. You trust yourself. You trust that when the time comes, your work will speak louder than any post, louder than any speech, louder than any introduction anyone could give you. You don't have to talk big when you're doing big things. The results will talk for you. And silence doesn't mean you passive. It doesn't mean you weak. Silence means you locked in. It means you turn the volume down on the world so you can hear your own voice, your own drive, your own calling. You can't hear destiny when you're surrounded by noise. You can't feel purpose when your mind is consumed with other people's opinions. Silence is not empty. It's full of focus. You ever seen a storm coming? It's quiet first, calm, still. But when it hits, everything changes. That's how you need to move. Quiet, controlled, composed. And then when it's time to execute, when it's time to show up, you hit hard. You come with a force no one expected. Because you weren't wasting energy being loud, you were saving it for the right moment. People who truly understand this power of silence are dangerous. because they're underestimated. The world sleeps on them. Nobody's paying attention to the quiet one in the room until that quiet one levels up and takes the room over. And by then it's too late. You already made the move. You already changed the game. They want credit before they've paid the price. And that's why they never grow. Because they're more concerned with being seen than becoming something worth seeing. But not you. Not this year. Not in 2025. This is the year you move like the lion. When you don't care if they notice because you know you're moving in purpose. That kind of confidence, that comes from internal alignment, from the hours no one sees, from the battles you fought alone, from the consistency you shown when no one was clapping. That's the kind of power silence builds. Silence isn't about hiding. It's about focusing. It's about letting your energy go where it counts. You don't get rich yelling. You don't get strong talking. You don't build legacy through noise. You build it through discipline, through strategy, through stillness. That's the real flex. To be so locked in, so deeply connected to your vision that you don't no longer need noise to validate your identity. You don't owe anyone updates. You don't owe them a play-by-play. You don't need to share your wins or your losses. Just work, just build, just grow. And when it's time, they'll see it. Not because you said anything, but because you showed them what silence and strength look like in human form. You spend too much time stressing about things you can't change, things outside your hands. You're worried about the economy. You're worried about how people see you. You're worried about what happened in the past and what might happen in the future. And that's the problem. You're giving your power away. Every time you focus on something that's out of your control, you're making yourself weaker, more anxious, more distracted. That's energy you could have used on building, on becoming, on doing. But instead it's wasted on worry. Listen, life is full of things you'll never control. You can't control how they treat you. You can't control how they treat you. You can't control the weather, the market, your past mistakes, or what somebody else gets blessed with. That's not your lane. That's not your battlefield. You want to win in life? You want to level up in 2025? Then you need to focus on what's yours. And what's yours is your mind, your energy, your work ethic, your choices. That's where your power lives. Inside of what you do every day. Inside of how you respond. Inside of how you show up when things get hard. Inside of your character when nobody's watching. You see, most people get stuck because they're trying to manage things that aren't theirs to manage. They get bitter about someone else's promotion. They get frustrated over something someone said online. They get depressed about the past or paralyzed by fear of the future. But they forget the one thing that's always been under their control: their own behavior. You can't change the fact that you came from nothing. You can't change the fact that people left you, hurt you, doubted you, but you can choose what you do with that pain. You can use it to fuel you. You can turn that pressure into purpose. Or you can sit there waiting for someone to rescue you from your own excuses. But the truth is, no one's coming. You are the answer. Your choices are the key. You can control your attitude. You can control how hard you work. You can control whether you show up or sleep in. You can control whether you complain or create, whether you shrink or grow, whether you wait or move. Every day you've got decisions to make, and those decisions shape your future. Not luck, not chance, not circumstances. Decisions. Your decisions. The problem is people want the outcome, but they don't want the responsibility. They want the win, but not the weight of the work. But you don't grow like that. You don't build greatness like that. Greatness comes when you accept the truth that life may be unfair, but you're still accountable for how you play your hand. That you might be tired, but you're still responsible for what you do next. That you might not have all the answers, but you're still in control of your effort. Look around. The most powerful people in this world aren't the ones with perfect circumstances. They're the ones who master control over themselves. Because when you can control your focus, your discipline, your grind, you become unstoppable. You stop reacting to the world and you start creating your world. That's what separates average from elite. Control. When you stop chasing what you can't control, you free up energy to dominate what you can. And when you do that, momentum builds. You stop complaining and start creating results. You stop waiting and start walking. You stop doubting and start doing. You stop worrying and start winning. That's how you change your life. But if you keep giving your power to things that don't belong to you, if you keep focusing on other people's opinions, other people's success, other people's blessings, you'll never tap into your own potential. You'll always feel like a victim instead of a victor. You'll always feel behind because you're living outside your lane. Get back in your lane. Lock in on your routine. Lock in on your habits. Lock in on your mindset. That's where the breakthrough happens. It's not glamorous. It's not loud, but it's powerful and it's yours. You don't control if someone supports you, but you control if you keep going. You don't control if life hits you hard, but you control if you get back up. You don't control what others say, but you control how much of it you let in. And the moment you start focusing on your controllables, everything shifts. Peace enters, power enters, progress enters. That's when you know you walking in your lane. It's 2025 now. It's in a year to be distracted by noise. This isn't the year to get caught up in things you can't change. This is the year to take full ownership of what you can change. Because once you do that, once you dominate yourself, the world has no choice but to respect the results. Everybody's trying to talk their way into success. They think if they speak loud enough, post often enough, convince enough people, then maybe the world will start to take them seriously. But that's not how greatness works. That's not how respect is earned. You don't talk your way to the top. You work your way there. You build in silence. You grind in the dark. And then when the time is right, your results start to speak for you. You don't have to convince people when your life becomes the evidence. You don't have to prove anything when you've already produced something. We live in a world where everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to be heard. Everyone is broadcasting, shouting their plans, updating the world on every step they take. But what happens when you talk more than you work? You build expectations without the foundation. You set yourself up to look successful before you become successful. You create pressure instead of progress. But when you focus on execution instead of attention, everything changes. You start doing it for real, not for recognition. You stop caring about being noticed and you start caring about becoming excellent. And when you move like that, humble, hungry, and focused, the noise takes care of itself. The success becomes too loud to ignore. People should see the change in your results before they hear it from your mouth. They should see the difference in how you carry yourself. They should feel the power in your presence, not your post. You don't need to say, I'm grinding. When your glow, your energy, your wins, show it without a word. That's the power of letting your success talk. Let me tell you something. People remember what you do, not what you say. You can tell everybody you're gonna make it. You can post 1,000,000 times about your plans, but if there's no consistency, no execution, no fruit, then it's just noise. But when your work starts to produce results, that's when people start to pay attention. That's when the doubters get quiet. That's when the critics fade. You don't have to argue with haters. You don't have to prove anything with your words. Let your results be the rebuttal. Let your life be the argument. That promotion, that transformation, that breakthrough, that becomes the proof they can't ignore. No debates, no discussions, just undeniable evidence. And here's the part that most people don't understand. That kind of success, the kind that speaks for itself, doesn't happen in the spotlight. Let me tell you what happens the most. It comes to success, the kind that speaks for itself, doesn't happen in the spotlight. Let me tell you what happens the most. The kind that speaks for itself doesn't happen in the spotlight. It happens in silence. It happens when no one is watching. It happens in the early mornings, in the late nights, in the small decisions, in the moments nobody claps for. That's where champions are built. That's where the noise is born, deep in the quiet, unseen places. See, the world is watching for a highlight reel, but success is built in the cuts. While they're scrolling, you're posting. While they're posting, you're planning. While they're bragging, you're building. And before long, the same people who didn't take you seriously will be asking how you did it. But you won't even need to explain. They'll see it. They'll feel it. Because success has a sound. And when it hits, it's louder than any words you could ever say. Stop wasting time trying to impress people who don't matter. Stop performing for an audience that hasn't earned the right to see your process. You're not here to entertain. You're here to evolve. You're here to break cycles. You're here to rewrite your story. That kind of mission is too big to be distracted by noise. That kind of focus is too important to be interrupted by attention seeking. You don't have to be loud to be legendary. You don't have to shout to be powerful. Let your growth speak. Let your transformation speak. Let your life become the message. That's the energy we're moving with in 2025. And understand this. When your success starts talking, you won't even need to introduce yourself. Doors will open. People will reach out. Respect will follow. Because the world can ignore your words, but it can't ignore your work. It can doubt your dreams, but it can't deny your results. It can mock your silence, but it can't deny your results. It can mock your silence, but it can't deny your results. It can doubt your dreams, but it can't deny your results. It can mock your silence, but it can't deny your results. It can doubt your dreams, but it can't deny your results. It can mock your silence, but it can't deny your results. It can mock your silence, but it can't deny your results. It can mock your silence, but it can't deny your results. So keep your head down. Stay humble. Keep planting seeds. Keep watering your vision. Stay in the process. Don't post it, live it. Don't preach it, prove it. Because one day your life is going to speak so loudly, you won't have to say a word.